Hi there and welcome back. This lesson we're going to be checking to see if our password passes our check as well. So we can get rid of these console messages so they're not interfering with our program. We don't need them anymore. Get rid of all the console messages that we've been using. And we're going to do a check to see if the temp name is password. So if it's a password, then there's a few conditions that we need to pass through there. So passwords and our expression. So create a brand new expression that we're going to be looking for. And for passwords, we want to check to see if it's digits, lowercase, uppercase, all okay. So making sure that we're checking to see if this is matching. And if it is, then this is going to be a valid password that we can use. So we can also do a test. So just as we did in the previous lesson, we've got tests. And there's some more information on tests on the Mozilla Developer Network. So if you never used tests before with regular expressions, they're ideal where you can execute a search for a match between a regular expression and a specified string, returns true or false. So we've got the regular expressions are here and the string is this one. So it's testing regular expression 1, triangular expression 2 on the string, and so on. So we've got the expected output here. So we can use test whenever we want to know if a pattern is found within a string and it returns a Boolean value. There's some more examples as well down below. So that's at the Mozilla Developer Network. So let's go ahead and bring that into our project. So we're checking to see if this content is true. We've got our test here that we're doing. So we're using our expression with a test and testing again that value that's contained within that element. If the result comes back negative, then we can pass in a message. So only numbers and letters. And there's one other thing that we do need within the regular expression, and we need a $sign in order to check to see if these characters match, and up to the $sign. So let's try that in our expression. So we've got some letters here, so that's okay. If we've got special characters, only numbers and letters are valid. So let's change these into numbers, and we can see that that's all okay. So there's one other thing that we still need to do, and that's remove out all of those error messages. Because when we try to submit it again, all of the error messages are still there. So we can do that by looping through all of the errors that we have on the page and looping through all of those elements with a class of error and through for each one of those. We can output them as a variable called item. And then as we loop through the item, we can take the class list and add hide to it. So simply adding hide to all of the elements. And what that will do is hide it, so when we do turn valid, and if we're submitting again, if we've got some more errors, you're going to see that they're disappearing. And if we update this and save it, and then if we make a mistake again, you're going to see it shows up, the error message shows up once again. So now that's a required field, so everything is good, and we should actually be able to submit the form at this point. Also, one other thing, if we want to check to make sure the length of our password is less than 8 characters or longer than 8 characters, so there's another condition that we can pass in. So we've got the first condition and this condition, so it's still checking on the password field, and we can check to see if element value is greater than 3 and element value, and that's actually value, is less than 8. So we want a password with a length of between 3 and 8 characters, and they have to be digits or number, no special characters. So if it's good, then we're good to pass through. But if it's not meeting these parameters, then we want to throw an error there. So let's do that, and we'll negate that with an error. So if this is coming back as false, then we need to add in our error message, and we can write needs to be between 3 and 8 characters. So let's try that. So this time in the password, we can see that we've got it needs to be between 3 and 8. So everything is good. When we go over 8, we've got that message again between 3 and 8. So once we've got that, everything in place, we can actually submit the form. And I'll show you how to do that coming up. So that means that none of the errors were true and we are okay to submit the form. And if the errors are true, then we're not going to be submitting the form. So that's still to come in the next lesson. So go ahead and add in some additional conditions. You can add it on password, and you can also add in some on username if you want.